Welcome to Life Coaches Unfiltered, where Desiree, Dory, and Michelle, three life coaches, are here to answer the questions you have, but we're afraid to ask. No fluff, no filters, just real talk to help you navigate life's big challenges. Let's dive in.
Hey, y'all, we're back for episode 8, season 2, episode 8. So this is our 18th podcast episode. Today we're talking about gaslighting. Gaslighting, what is it? It was very confusing to me. I didn't understand I was gaslighting myself about being gaslit for many a time. So we're going to talk about that today. I don't know what y'all's experience with gaslighting is, but it was very confusing to me. And then I got it. So
I think it's a term that everybody uses and it's used so flippantly. Is that a word? Flippantly? Okay. I think that it's used so much. There we go. That
frequently.
Thank you. Yes. I'm hooked on phonics this morning. So yeah. So I think that that's kind of where everything is. Anyway, that's
so funny. We haven't done our check-in.
We have to do our check-in.
What's happening?
I was just dropping what the topic is.
I know, right? I was just kind of like, check-in today? I'm like...
No, Michelle,
you're all ready to talk about gaslight, obviously.
We never talk about the check-in. Why are you trying to rush us? We don't normally do check-ins. We just jump right
that
in.
Side of gaslighting right there. You're imagining things.
What are you talking about? We never do that. Okay, y'all, that was an example of gaslighting, but let's reel it back. And yes, Michelle, would you like to kick off our check-ins, dear?
I mean, it's been a good week. I had a great weekend. Yeah, I mean, I was watching the Georgia-Alabama game. I'm not into college football. I'll watch it. I'm into football. I know the rules. But yeah, I mean, I was just there to socialize. But yeah, no, it was a good weekend, and I feel that something happened this weekend, and I don't know what. Like, yeah, it was a great weekend. Yeah, I feel. Oh, yeah. So this weekend, I decided to start writing my 2026 goals. Yeah, I got some flip chart paper and started writing some stuff, and yeah, I'm excited.
You could take the teacher out of the classroom, but the teacher.
Oh my God, I know,
the flip
right?
charts.
Seriously? I love flip chart paper, because look, I mean, I have a book that I can write my goals in, but when I have a flip chart paper and I have it in my office and I can see it,
yeah,
that to me just helps me to achieve what I want to achieve. Because if it's in a book, like granted, I make so much notes. Do I go back and look at those notes?
I kind of love that though. I mean, because that is a great illustration, and it is a great habit as a life coach to have your goals posted in a giant place where you see it frequently. I had a vision board. I created a vision board after my divorce, and like everything came true, even my little cute dog on that vision board. And then it's like buried in somewhere now in a closet, which is like the rest of my dreams. No, I'm joking. But I need to do that again.
You're so silly. But yeah, so that was cool, because I've pretty much checked off quite a few goals that I had for this year. Now, some of them didn't come to fruition, but I'm like, oh well.
Awesome.
Be mad. I did quite a bit. So
we should talk about what goal, like do a retrospective episode at the end of the year about what goal or what thing we accomplished this year that we're really proud of.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, just planting that seed.
Yeah.
Dory,
all right, I've shared. Come on, who else wants to share?
It's Dory's turn.
It's my turn. I actually had practice last night for the comedy show that's next Monday. Holy cow. I have a week now to memorize my bit, but we tightened up the bit last night or yesterday, and then we practice again to start getting the delivery and putting all of that together. So yeah, it's exciting. It's it's fun material. And I found out my stepsisters are coming. Like I sent out like a text from my Evite thing, and my stepsister texted me and said, "So we bought tickets like weeks ago." And I'm like, "You're coming? Oh my gosh, it's so cool." So yeah, I'm getting excited about the show, and spent some time down in LaGrange decorating my house for Halloween. I'm gonna apparently get like 500 trick-or-treaters,
Jesus,
and
that's a lot
so
of candy.
it's a lot of candy, yes, but my mom and we're ready. We have the crime scene tape to like tape off my yard so nobody will walk through my beautiful lawn. We have the theme. We're gonna be. Should I tell y'all what it is, or should we wait?
You
Wait.
told me, and then I had a suggestion for you. So I need to know
Yes.
if the
So
suggestion's
we're
gonna happen.
wearing overalls that have blood on them, and it says "problem solved." So we're gonna be like the theme is problem solved. And my mother is super excited. She got his little like knives, but we need like little chainsaws and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a little we're excited.
Yeah, all
It's a lot.
Americans take Halloween to like a whole
And
nother.
why? You know what? It's my favorite holiday. It is absolutely my favorite holiday.
It's not even a holiday. It's just a day.
Shh, shut your mouth, Michelle.
We turned it into a holiday, Michelle.
It is my
Like, it's a
religion.
holiday. I'm like, it's a
Michelle, it
day.
is my religion. Stop.
So,
Okay,
It's
there
that
it is.
one day of the year it's okay to be a witch.
That's so funny. Like, we don't even have a day off. Can't even say it's a holiday because it's not even a day off.
oh my gosh.
Poor
Uh,
Sorry, that
Desiree, but
gaslighted. Is that gaslighted?
I just hope that you can find a chainsaw that makes bubbles, like a kid's chainsaw, because that would be freaking hilarious.
I'm making a note of that right now. Bubble
Uh,
chainsaw.
and see if that exists. I know they have bubble lawnmowers, but maybe a bubble chainsaw. And I still think that you should put a headstone in there with Earl in the
With
front yard.
Earl. And,
Yeah.
and, and my mother was like, we need to play Earl Had to Die, the song Earl Had to Die.
Just on
Just
repeat.
in a little constant loop. By the end of the night, somebody will die because I'll be tired of hearing that song.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah,
Y'all.
that song hit different after I realized some things in my life. It's just the context. Like, it was fun to sing along to when I was young. And then in my midlife years, I was like, oh, those were some real girlfriends.
Yes, that's what that ride or
Ooh.
die actually
Mm.
means. Or I tell my friends I'd help you bury the body. I probably shouldn't say this live now that I'm thinking about it. So if any of my friends' spouses pass, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh. Mm.
See, I'm like a deer in headlights. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's okay. Don't need to explain. Y'all carry on.
We'll send you the song. We'll send you the song.
Yeah.
Is a chick song from the 90s.
Okay.
Probably
Probably didn't
before.
come to England, so it's okay.
Anyway.
How are you
But
doing, Desi?
anyway, I'm fine. I'm fine. It was a weekend of lots of work. And then I got up and I was trying to push myself to work yesterday, and I was like, I am about to embark on like 10 solid days of work. And
Yeah,
after mostly a week of work. And so I'm like, you need to just give
relax.
yourself some downtime. So
Yeah.
I've been arguing in my head a lot about it's okay to take a nap.
I
Anyway,
love naps. That's what Sunday's all about, napping.
I'm
Oh,
still doing clean eating and I'm like wrapping up 4 weeks of it. I'm gonna see how long I can
Nice.
go. Yeah, I mean, I did have like I've had a couple things where I'm just like, well, the hell with it. This is gluten in it and I'm gonna eat it. That happened like twice during the 90 or 30 days. But yeah, I feel much better. I feel like my clothes are starting to fit better. So yeah, it's just but my busy season is right now. So every day is slammed and I'm trying to learn how to manage my calendar to where I'm not just overwhelmed all the time. And
yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. Like I sat back yesterday and I was like, you did enough this weekend to where you're not like I feel okay with it. But I think the cliff is coming because I'm like, I want to make cookies and I want to do this. And it's like at some point you just start chucking stuff out of the to-do list. You're like, I was delusional when I said that. Anyway,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. So we haven't reached that point yet. So but it's Monday. So we'll see where I am on Wednesday.
There's plenty of time to drive off the cliff by the end of the week.
But listen, my camping trailer has new tires. Like, yes. I was like, Thelma has new shoes because anyway, I have a camping trailer. My sister has a camping trailer and they're the same type of trailer. And so we bought them the same weekend during COVID. That we both bought them used. And in two different areas of the country, it was crazy. We picked up and I was like, they're Thelma and Louise, and you can have Wheezy and I'll have Thelma. So Thelma is my camping trailer.
I love that. That's
Anyway,
great.
That's
so
funny.
good old Thelma, and I'll be living in her for a minute. And anyway, so she got new shoes, and I'm really happy because that's been on my to-do list for a minute. All right. So, and I went and the guys, like I had the tires and everything and they were on the rims. They just had to, I probably could have done it if I would have had one of those little zoom things that I don't know. And what the hell are those things called? It's an air,
A
they hook them to
jack?
an air compressor, but it's the little
Oh,
thing that zooms the lug nuts onto the tires. God, I was
gotcha.
sounding like a girl. Oh, anyway, I could have done it because I have a floor jack. I have all the stuff. My ex-husband kindly left me with a bunch of crap in the garage, so I could figure it out. But and I do have my own air compressor. But anyway, they did it for me for free. And so I was like, really sweet. So I went and bought him a gift card at Starbucks next door and it was like, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Why not?
I
Why
know, right? Like,
we can be damsels in distress.
I kind
Oh,
of
could
love
you
it.
just do this for me? Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it
Anyway,
moving.
yeah. All right. So let's talk about gaslighting. So what do you guys, let's talk, why do you think this is it was so confusing to me. Was it confusing to y'all? Am I just an anomaly? Was
Um,
it confusing to y'all?
I like I preemptively said early in the thing. I think it's because everybody has used it to just throw a term like intertwined with narcissists and gaslighting. I think those have been the two terms that everybody just kind of throws at whatever, someone treats you poorly. Oh, they're gaslighting me,
Hmm.
or they're a narcissist. It's I think it's become very confusing about what the actual meaning is because people just have used it for bad behavior.
I also, I'm just going to be honest. I didn't even know what it meant to start off with because it wasn't a terminology I'd ever heard of until people, and then I think it just became popular. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
what does this term mean? What's this? Is this another word that people have like brought up, like woke and all that stuff, and cancel culture and all that? And I'm just like, okay, this is another word that's come into play. Is it in the dictionary yet?
It
I
probably is.
It probably is.
I'm gonna
I
check
know
on
it wasn't
that.
in the dictionary when I was growing up, so and I is old.
I
Um,
don't even know when it came about. Like the word
It's from a
speak
movie from like the 50s.
really.
Yes, it is actually it has a Wikipedia page. It's in the National Domestic Violence Hotline has a what is gaslighting page. Here, I'll
oh,
tell you the name of the movie, but it is a scene from a movie. And so like okay, it originates from it's a 1938 British play,
See, you
Michelle,
should know this shit, Michelle.
called a British play or
wow,
titled
gaslighting
Gaslight.
going on here.
It was by Patrick Hamilton. The play was adapted into a 1940 film in the UK, Gaslight, which was remade in the US as the 1944 film Gaslight. So, um, it was set among London's elite during the Victorian era. Its adaptations portray a seemingly genteel husband using lies and manipulation to isolate his heiress wife and persuade
Mm.
her that she is mentally ill so that he can steal from her.
Oh my God.
One of the
Ooh.
husband's tricks is to secretly dim and brighten the indoor gaslighting, insisting that his wife is imagining it. So that's where the term comes from. And even once because my therapist is the one that brought this to me, like y'all probably like 8, 9, maybe 10 years ago. She's like, does the term gaslighting mean? I'm like, no. She would explain to me. She's like, he would dim the light and then deny that he was doing it. And I was like, that still doesn't make sense. And my husband's not dimming the light, right? But that like, oh, it can be so much more nuanced than that,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's where the term comes from.
I'm so glad you said that. That is really interesting.
I
Okay.
sorry. I have the flashlight song in my head, not gaslight. But now I'm changing it to gaslight. That's what just came into my mind. Like gaslight.
Wait.
Do you? Neon light. No, sorry. Anyway.
Oh my God. We are a pair. Okay, so from this book that I'm reading, y'all, I was telling y'all about this book before you got on. It's called It's Not You. Um, and it's about healing from narcissistic abuse, identifying and healing from narcissistic people. It's by Ramani Durvasula. I apologize if the author ever hears this and I mispronounce her name. Um, but oh my gosh, y'all, like it is incredible. It is unpacking things that I'm like, oh my gosh. So last night I'm reading Timely. And there's this whole part about gaslighting. So gaslighting is the centerpiece of narcissistic abuse and operates through a systemic pattern of generating doubt about your experiences, memory, perception, judgment, and emotions. So when we were joking with Michelle about we don't do check-ins, like that was me in a very outwardly way of trying to gaslight her, trying to teach you guys how to pick up on this stuff. Because if it's happening to you, it's probably really confusing and you don't even realize it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I'm learning, so because I just like narcissistic abuse is so hard because it's you never know what to expect. And so people, there are some good times. So it's really hard to leave because you're like, well, they're nice to me sometimes, right? And so this gaslighting thing it's real. Sustained gaslighting causes you to question reality and it qualifies as emotional abuse. It can include denying events that occurred, behaviors that were engaged in, experiences you're having, or words that were said. So, statements that are like key is that never happened. I never said or did that. Why are you
Oof.
always so angry? You're exaggerating. It was not that bad. I've heard that one. You have no right to feel that way. Oh, hell no. It's all in your head and other people have it so much harder than you. Stop being a victim.
Mm.
So it's a gradual process. That's another thing that I wanted to touch on. But yeah, so just a little bit of history. So let's talk about like when did it click for y'all?
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, and I know I've explained the story previously about my when I was living in England and my ex-fiance, and it just you just explain saying all that stuff, Desiree. I was just like, holy shit! Like he did all of that, all the time. You know, he would say, "You're imagining things. You know, just don't worry about it," and to the point of I'll share a bad time of our relationship. So my mother obviously had passed, and we were going to a party, and I was talking to some people, and he got very jealous. And and then it was kind of like we had an argument in the car, and we crashed the car. He grabbed hold of the steering wheel and made me come off the road because I was driving. And then he was just like, "Oh, you're making things up. I didn't touch the steering wheel." And I'm just kind of like, this asshole is telling me that I'm imagining things. What the hell's going on? Um, so at that point it was just kind of like, yeah, nah. I was just like, my mother, I just buried my mother. You trying to bury me too? Like,
Mm.
no. Don't tell me that you didn't do anything. You grabbed hold of the steering wheel and we came off the road and we crashed the car. And I'm not making shit up. Like you did that. And you're sitting
But
there denying.
was there a time though when he said that where you actually doubted the reality of the situation, where you actually believed what he was saying that he did not do it?
Because it was, I mean, it happened so quickly. And I'm just like, what the
Yeah.
hell happened? And then I'm just like, no, he put his hand on the steering wheel. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm just like, yes, like, and then I'm doubting myself.
Yeah. Yeah. That is gaslighting at its finest.
So, yeah, all those things that you said, I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. But again, I was 25, 26. So gaslighting wasn't that thing. But now I'm just like sitting there thinking, oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
that's just craziness, absolute
And
craziness.
and
And
like Desiree says,
he tried to defend himself in front of my sister, and I'm just kind of like, asshole. He was like trying to, sweet talk my sister, and I'm just like, this asshole is he's being very manipulative, and I was just like, yeah. And as soon as we got back home, I was like, pack your shit and get out. Like, no, bye.
but the thing of it is that it, like Desiree said, is such a gradual process. It is
Mhm.
a form of emotional abuse
Yes, it
that you
is.
don't even know. It becomes such a part of your relationship that you don't
Yes.
even know that you're now in it. And it becomes, like for myself, I'm thinking of two instances, and I'll just share one right now. And that was I was married to someone who's using drugs, and I was so he had me so confused about what I was really seeing and what I was, y'all, I found white powder on the counter. I mean, I don't know how much more clear that could be, but it was dust from sanding walls. It
Oh, no, wait.
was
I thought he was a baker and it was powdered sugar.
oh, he was baking stuff, but I don't,
He was
it's
baking.
getting baked. But he had me so like I'm like, what is this? And he was like, oh, no, 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 that's dust from, like, where I've been sanding walls. I'm like, uh or are you feeling okay? You're not acting right. It was all of these different things that by the time we went to rehab, I took him to a rehab facility. Like, the woman was like, I can't tell you. He didn't sign the papers to tell me anything. So everything was on lockdown. And so she couldn't tell me anything. And when he got mad and walked out, when we were like, because they were like, he's got to come to outpatient. And my deal with him was, you go do what they say and I'll stay. But if you break the rules in any way, I'm done. And when he walked out angry because he was being called out on his stuff, I looked at her and I said, am I going crazy? And she looked at me. She said, I cannot tell you anything except you're not crazy. And that was the validation that I needed at that point to go, okay, something, I didn't know it was gaslighting at the time, but when you feel like you don't know what end is up, and
Yeah.
you are doubting what all your and that's what it is all your instincts are screaming at you, going, something is not right here, something is not right. And you have someone telling you, no, you're the thing that's not right. Then that is what gaslighting is. And that's a memory that, you know what.
Man, we're going deep. I'm learning
I
all
know.
kinds of stuff from y'all. Thank y'all for well, and I don't mean to make light of that. Like, these are serious. This is serious stuff, and I appreciate. I mean, crashing a car and finding drugs and yeah, rehab,
So what
that
you
stuff
got?
is
Desi, what you got? Come on.
Dig deep, sister, come
Come
on,
on.
spill it, spill
Let's
it.
top it off. Let's
ah,
top it off.
I was being consistently gaslit. I think I've been gaslit my whole life. I think there were some family dynamics that were gaslighting me. I'm really unpacking a lot of shit while I'm reading this book. So, yeah, it's an incredible book. I'll put a link to the book in the show notes. But y'all, and if you do happen to buy from the store that sounds like a river, we do, like, it gives us little pennies to help us support the cost of producing the show, so we really appreciate that. But I do put that it's an affiliate link. So yeah, I'll put a link to the book in the show. And anyway, so I was being gaslit. I think I've been gaslit my whole life. And the interesting thing is I always doubted every freaking decision or even my version of reality. I would share things with people in an effort to get them to validate me. And I didn't understand why. And then I realized that, and I'm careful about talking about my marriage, especially Like, but y'all, I finished another book. I'll talk about this one too, and I'll put the link. It's called A Well-Trained Wife. It's by Tia Levings. I've followed her for years on social media. My library finally got their act together and got the book, and so I listened to it, and it is absolutely heartbreaking. She was in an evangelical fundamentalist, very strict marriage,
Wow.
and her husband had an issue with alcohol, and there was some similarities between my marriage and my ex-husband was raised in a very, very strict religious home. And yeah, there it was not nearly as bad as what she went through, but there was some similarities in our stories that were really painful for me to listen to. And but I'm still unpacking, and I'm 8 years out, and I'm still unpacking the ways that I was gaslit. It was so subtle for so many years. The big thing, and I kind of feel like goes hand in hand with gaslighting, is the deflection that happens. And when we talk about narcissism in the next episode, deflection is a huge tool that narcissists use to deflect blame and take the focus off of them, and then make you the problem. But that's also like that and gaslighting, they're kind of like two sides of the same coin. So I think that I'm still figuring out how all the subtle ways in which I was gaslit. But I think I was being influenced to a degree. I've talked about my spiritual awakening in Five Guys before, where my friend was like, I think you need distance because you can't even see what I'm talking about. Like, you can't see your unhappiness. Like, you're telling me you're happy, but I'm telling you you're not. And so I left. I came home, I packed my stuff, and I went and lived in hotels for 5 days. Like, just whoever would give me like a decent rate within the little hotel chain that I had a membership with, right? And it was in a good area of town. I just bounced around. And it was for me to get out of the soup. I was going to Al Anon meetings every day. My therapist was like, I'm on board with this plan, but you got to be in Al Anon meeting every day, or you're just going to sit there and stew. And so and I was showing up and doing my job. It was weird to live in that place, but I needed that physical space to even figure out what reality was for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was a big pivot point for me of, okay, things aren't necessarily the way that I'm being told they are. So here's a couple signs from this book, It's Not You, about signs you might be being gaslighted. So feeling the need to send long explanatory emails or text messages to the gaslighter. Providing an evidentiary base for feeling. So showing them old text messages. Like, you're never going to win in this argument, right? Because this pattern is serving someone. That's my own personal opinion. Recording conversations either or overtly or secretively so that you have proof of what they said. I would write things down at some point
Mhm.
because I would start to doubt myself, right? Being over reliant on other people's feedback to determine how you're feeling. Number one for me, giving long preludes before you say something. Feeling compelled to put all communication in writing as proof and giving
Mhm.
in and going along to get along. So I think that's where our pleaser, like that's where the people pleaser can raise its little heckles. Does that make sense? Do any
Mhm.
of those resonate for y'all?
All of them. Yeah.
I was just about to say the recording, the writing down, the prelude, like, you've got to build up to it, to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I'm guilty. Even writing letters.
I
Um,
was
yeah.
I was thinking, I was in an abuse. I've been in a couple of abusive relationships in my past, and in high school, I was with someone that was physically and emotionally abusive, and I had to strategize my conversations with this person and strategize if I wanted to go out with my family, how like I was going to get the situation in just the right space so that I could tell him that I was going or kind of asked to do this. And so it's because of the fact that, he had me in the state of that he was in control of everything. And I think that's another form of the gaslighting, is that control of, I've got you where I want you, and you are crazy if you think you're going to find anybody better than me, and you are your family doesn't care about you. I'm the only one that cares about you. I'm the only one that's got you. And he cheated like crazy too, y'all. Like crazy. And I was crazy for like, but I saw you with her. Like I saw him driving down the road with this girl in the car, and I was crazy because he was just offering her a ride. He was being nice. Whew. I'm unpacking some major stuff here.
I know, and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, we were dealing with the same person, because that ex-fiance, he would tell me what I could and couldn't wear. And
Mm,
again, in my 20s, at the beginning it didn't happen because I was at college, and then all of a sudden it was just kind of like, oh, I don't want you to wear that. I'm just like, what? And even my friends told me at the end, like, yeah, you kind of changed how you were looking. And I was like, why you guys didn't say anything? Well, you're in a relationship and you're not going to listen. And I'm just kind of like, I wish you'd have bloody told me. I wish we would have this conversation. Um, but yeah, just telling me, and I had to lie. I had to lie to tell him on places that I was going to.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
just like, now in hindsight, when I think about it, I was just like, what the hell was I doing? Like, because I didn't want him to be mad.
Yes, yes.
And, I'm like, yeah, I'm going over to such and such a place. No, we're going out and we're gonna go and have fun and la la la. And he had the audacity to ask me to put his name on my flat. He was like, yeah, let's put my name on your flat. I said no. I said, you got a house. I said, you put my name on your house. I'll put my name your name on my flat. Otherwise, no. So sorry. This is my shit. And that pissed him off. But I was just like, no. And then I bought a house, and he was like, put my no. I was like, no. You put my name on your big 4-bedroom house that you've got somewhere, because you've got a little apartment with your brother as well. Put my name on both or one, and I'll do the same.
But it's control, that's control too,
Yeah.
monetary
The
control.
audacity.
It's a very, I think that is just part of it all. It's I had to ask like for permission to go with my mother somewhere. I'll never forget, once it was like my mother wanted me to go somewhere with her, and I said I'm going to go with mom to shopping somewhere, and he got so angry about everything and broke up with me. That's another one too, right? Is breaking up with you when they're not getting their way, breaking up and then making you feel like it was your fault.
Yeah.
That is, I think that's the key of like all of this right now, is that it was my fault. I'm sorry, it was my fault I ran into your hand. It's my fault that, you cheated on me because I've been too needy and clingy. All of those different things. Y'all, for people listening, if you're having to like take the blame for everything, you're probably being gaslit.
Yeah.
100%.
Hmm.
100%. And let's not default to that part. Let's not default to what was I trying to say? Let's not let's not default to always giving in and caving in. It's okay to question that, right? Like you're not crazy. There is a wisdom inside of you. There is an intuition. Your nervous system knows what is happening and you're denying it, which is causing you stress. And one of the reasons why I cleaned up my diet was to decrease inflammation. Well, stress is a huge contributor to inflammation. It is impacting your health. Um, it's impacting your emotional health, your mental health, and your physical body.
Yeah.
And so we need to, yeah. And if you've had these cycles of patterns in your life, I was always the youngest. So it was always like, no, Desi, that didn't happen, or that's not the way it was. And like one of the things that just came up for me is it's okay to disagree on how things played out or whatever, but you can have a healthy conversation about it. Gaslighting is not that. Gaslighting is about control. So, like, I'll give you, for instance, if I am in a healthy relationship with somebody, I can give my point of view, they can give their point of view, and then we can find the truth in both of those, right? Or we can respect each other's opinions or viewpoints or perspectives because we're all walking around viewing this world through a lens that our life experiences have shaped. And so there are going to be differences in how we perceive a situation. That's not necessarily gaslighting, but gaslighting is about controlling and always something like it's about manipulation and control. And so it's a subtle difference. I don't want people to think like we're always right about everything. We come to these experiences with a perception, but you can have a healthy conversation about it, and that looks very differently than gaslighting. It's not full of deflection. It's not full of blame. It's not full of denial. It sounds more like I see where you could have perceived that, or I see where that might be, like it's you feel seen, you feel heard. Gaslighting is not that. Does that make sense?
So that's a really wonderful way to do the comparison, Desi, of what it is and what it isn't. Because I think that you do get so caught up in it that you don't even, and if you are in it, a situation like this, look, it's okay. Don't don't blame yourself. Don't shame yourself. It's okay. It happens to the best of us. It is something that it comes like, what is it? A wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, it's like it
Mm.
comes in such a way you don't even know. So don't blame yourself. Don't shame yourself. If you have like this feeling inside of you that this may be happening to you, discuss it with someone that you feel like you can trust
Yeah.
and get their perspective on it, and then you can decide what you want to do about it, but you don't have to live this way. And I think that that's the key to all of this. It is a wonderful thing when you can have this freedom to be able to not be blamed for everything and be able to take responsibility for yourself, but not responsibility for somebody else's actions.
Yeah.
And I think so. Remember how at the beginning of the episode, Dory, you said everybody's using this as a buzzword, gaslighting? I think the reason why it is being used as a buzzword is because people don't understand the distinction between disagreeing and seeing things from a different perspective and gaslighting. And so they're immediately going to, this is gaslighting, and here's why. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's also, I mean, I'm not going to throw shade at people, but maybe I'm about to throw shade at people. But I think it's also a way to not take accountability for your own actions in something as well. If I say that Desiree is gaslighting me and I'm not taking responsibility and I may have had an actual part in something, I just say she's gaslighting me. I'm not taking responsibility for it. So there's a big difference in when someone's actually gaslighting you or you're using it as a way to justify your actions and not take accountability for what you've done.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
I didn't realize we were going to get so deep today. Like
This
there,
is a good subject.
there was some trigger points for me, and I'm just like, damn, okay, I'm just going to share this story, and then now we're all just kind of like getting deep, which is good because I think there does need to be that distinction of what it isn't and what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, it was the control, and I did need to get help. But I think it sounds horrible. My mother passing was the catalyst to find out that I was being controlled. Because if my mother was probably still alive, I probably would have been married and I probably would be divorced by now with a child because he was ready to have kids. So, as awful as it sounds, that death was a catalyst for me to find out of how much I was being controlled and how much I was questioning myself on who I was because of this fucking person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
that reminds me. Okay, so Michelle, I really resonated with what you just shared about your mom. And if your
Yeah.
mom hadn't passed, your life would have turned out probably very differently.
Hmm.
I feel like that has been my journey so much of I don't understand why this is happening. It's really painful, but then I see how that event shaped the rest of my life.
Hmm.
And oof, man, like emotions coming up for me. Um, because when I'm in the midst of something now, I'm like, I don't understand why this is happening, but I look forward to the day in which I do. And that's how I get through the really tough days.
Mm.
Sometimes I just call my sister and cry. And then she's like, I'll check on you in a couple hours and see, and maybe go get some sleep and eat some food. But one of the quotes that I love, which I think embodies this viewpoint that you just shared, Michelle, is a Soren Kierkegaard quote, and it's life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards.
Mm.
That's beautiful.
And
Wow.
so, yeah. And so, guys, if y'all are going through some stuff right now, guys and girls, all the people of the
Yes.
world, however
Yes.
you identify, we see you. And we also want you to know to hang in there, you know, hang in there. We're all on a growth journey. We're all in different places. But
Mm.
this was a big piece of the puzzle that I was not seeing. And so I'm so glad we talked about it today. I don't
Yeah.
have, I can't think of specifics right now because I'm still so fresh into processing how this showed up in my relationships. Um, I'm dealing with a situation right now where there's a disagreement. I'm owning my part in it, and I haven't had a conversation with the person yet to kind of clear the air, and I'm not doing that now because my life is so chaotic. And so I'm intentionally saying, let's take some time. But I felt there were times where I was like, this is not healthy communication. And I want to talk to this person about it, and how that plays out is going to determine the future of that relationship, which is sad. But it's giving me clues because like what Brene Brown says, once you see a pattern, you can't unsee it. So I think the point of this, of us sharing our stories today, is for you to help see those patterns, pick up on those patterns through our stories, through what we shared today on
Mm.
our episode.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, I'm going to toss it over to you for your favorite segment.
Oh gosh, the uncomfortable. Well, I feel like we've just discussed them. Seriously. I'm like, do we really need to go into more depth? Because I mean, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. All right, here we go. If you caught someone gaslighting you today, what would you do differently than in the past?
Mhm.
You know, oh, Dory, are y'all ready? Or I
You
can
go
jump.
first. You got it. Go.
First, I give myself a little flag of like I feel like this is gaslighting, like his little internal doot 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 doot, like a little radio signal of like important news coming. This person might be gaslighting you. So I think the other thing is I would ground myself in the truth of what I know to be true and remind myself of that. And also start to, understand where this person might be coming from, and they maybe have a little bit of compassion for them for having these unhealthy patterns, but knowing that I don't have to participate in that nonsense. Like I was in a situation where somebody was upset with me, and I felt like they were trying to bait me into a fight, and I was not picking up the rope the way that Al-Anon talks about. I was just not engaging. And I would only respond if something was said that in a kind way to me. And that's very different because I was like, this person was egging me on and egging me on. And I was like, nope, not going to do that. I'm not participating in this exchange.
Mm.
And so I think I would pick up especially if their nervous system is activated, uh like if it is a tense situation. Usually the gaslighting that was happening in my life was very subversive, so it wasn't until the later years it didn't get to kind of screaming and yelling and me being physically afraid for myself. It was a lot of subversive changing of my mind and manipulating, and that is harder to kind of address openly. But if I'm in a situation where someone's nervous system is amped up to 11 or 12 on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not going to engage. It's yeah, I just won't until things calm down. And if it's a relationship that I want to try to salvage, I'll have a conversation later, but I'm not doing it in the moment. People need to calm. People need to go sit in time out for a minute and think about think about how you can come and be a kinder person in this situation. If they're not willing to give me the space to have that conversation later, that gives me some information as well.
That's good. That's very good. I think for myself, it's I one of the things I learned getting sober was, is it kind, is it necessary, and is it true? And running it through that filter helps me. Number one, because it just kind of is it being done in a way? Most of the time, gaslighting is not kind, and it's not necessary, and it absolutely is not true. So I can run it through that. And just like you said, Desiree, the people pleaser in me wants everybody to like me and be friends with everybody. I've this year had to start letting friendships go and letting people go out of my life, because it has come to a point of where it just was not working for me anymore in that way. And so I won't say that necessarily they were gaslighters, but they absolutely didn't make me feel good about myself. And I had to let that go. So just being able to recognize it and then be able to say, is this good for me? And if it's not good for me, then, I let them go with loving kindness and just wish them the best on their journey, but they don't have to be a part of my journey anymore.
Stole my
Michelle.
thunder because I'm exactly the same. I'm kind of like, if I feel someone's trying to manipulate me or trying to control me, then I'm just gonna step back
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna pursue that person and I will cut them out of my life because, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and that's not the people that I want in my circle.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, I'll cut them off. And I'll be pleasant to them, but don't expect to be part of my little cool circle because no, because you need to sort your shit out. We all need to sort our shit out. We're all not perfect, but you have a problem and I can't and I don't want to be part of that problem and I don't need you to tell me what I can and can't do because you're not living my life and you don't get to control me. You can control yourself, and I will just take myself out of that picture.
And good luck controlling yourself.
Yes. You do you, boo.
I love that's one of my favorite sayings. You go do you, boo.
Yes. Yes.
Michelle, so what you just said reminded me of another. So y'all have not been historically a Taylor Swift like Swiftie, it was like, this is the young kids, this is things for the young kids. And then when she announced her album, I listened to that podcast with the Kelsey brothers and I fell in love with her. I was like, oh, this is why everyone loves her. But what she said, Michelle, when you were talking about cutting people out of your life, I was like, you should think of your energy. She said this on the podcast. You should think of your energy as if it's expensive, as if it's a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it.
I love that.
And
True
so I'm
that.
like, girl, how you got so much wisdom? She's wise. Anyway, she's a smart cookie. I am a budding Taylor Swift fan.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's okay. Like, yeah, it's okay to limit at who has access to you at a
Yes.
level where you are sharing vulnerably. That is, that is wise.
Yeah.
Dory and I were talking the other night, and I was like, I have a lot of walls up. And Dory was like, my walls are like this. And I was like, oh, your walls are garage doors. So,
They go up or they're closing
They
down.
go
Oh, they
up,
go
down, and sometimes they get hung halfway between where you have to like climb under it.
sorry, sorry, Dory. I didn't mean to share that. That's your
That's all right.
permission.
It's so true, though. I mean, just after years of being like kind of jerked around, you kind of like your walls are kind of like, because you're just like, yes, no, yes, no, no, yes. And,
I mean,
hopefully you don't get your
true.
foot caught in the bottom when it comes down. So
It's
it's
very
just,
true. It's very true.
all
Oh,
right.
I think it's a great metaphor, if you ask me.
or the little sensors get off. Maybe that's what gaslighting does, is it makes the sensors cockeyed, so like you
Yeah.
don't even know what reality is. So the garage door opener is like, I don't even know if I'm closed or if I'm open.
I love
Where
it.
where does this stuff come from? Okay,
Oh.
Dory, we gotta do quotes. Who wants to kick us off with quotes?
I'll do one.
All right.
Gaslighting is mind control to make victims, oh, sounds horrible, victims, to doubt their reality. I mean, that's just hits the nail on the head, literally,
Yeah.
because it is a mind control. And then you think you're going crazy.
But you can turn your victim into victor.
Yes.
Ooh, preach, sister. Preach.
That was a
You with
download.
look at you with these words today.
I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's insomnia and lack of sleep.
You're so silly.
Ah,
Who's next?
Okay. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. By Alice Walker. I think that is the key to all of this, is that, everybody you have power, you have you have a soul inside of you that is in total control, and no one else has that. And I'll leave you with this. One of the big things, again, I just, all this stuff I learned getting sober, I learned a lot. You can't control anything outside of your hula hoop. So everybody stay inside your own hula hoop and everything will be just fine.
yeah, Tia was talking about in Al-Anon, they use the metaphor of a yoga mat. Like if it's not on your yoga mat. I like the hula hoop. We used to say that in Al-Anon too. Like if
Yeah.
it's outside your hula hoop, yeah.
And you stay out of my hula hoop too. Don't try to get it. Don't try to get in my hula hoop. Don't you dare try to get in my hula hoop.
Dory is not sharing her hula hoop. Dory does not share hula hoops.
I don't share my hula hoop, and my garage door is all jacked up. So
Your hula
She's
hoop
like
in
Joey
the
from
garage.
Friends. She ain't sharing her fries or anything. She's hugging everything. Like, don't touch my fries.
Okay, gaslighting, the quote that I've got is gaslighting is when you try to convince someone else that their reality is not real.
God.
Stephanie Sarkis. Man, I am having trouble with names today. All right, Dory, do you want to talk about what our next topic is leading into this?
It's another buzzword. It's another thing that has been like used so much, and you hear so much, and it's narcissism. And it's such a good topic. I think we talked a little bit about it today. We talk a lot about it today because they go hand in hand with gaslighting, but I'm excited about the topic. I mean, and I love this journey with you ladies. I find every time that we meet, actually a little piece of me heals on talking about this stuff and being open and honest. And that's why we're unfiltered. So next week, everybody, or next week, next time, because we don't record every week, but next time we're going to talk about narcissism. Join. It's going to be, I'm sure, packed full of good information.
I'm sure we're gonna drop some dimes. more stories.
Y'all have been the bright spot of my year. So thank you.
Always.
I really appreciate being on this journey with y'all.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, and we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Life Coaches Unfiltered. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or follow us on social media. Got a question you've been afraid to ask? Send it our way at lifecoachesunfiltered@gmail.com. Until next time, keep growing, keep questioning, and stay unfiltered.